Hey guys, welcome to Draw with Sandee at the Little Artistic Nook. Today we'll be drawing this cute little guava. To draw our guava today, we're going to just start by marking out the stem. So coming towards the top center of your page, just create two little markers. And then from the left side, we're going to start to draw a curve out towards the left. And as we come down towards the bottom of the page, we'll start to wrap it back around. When you've made this line as big as you want, you can start to bring in a straight line just slightly up and towards the center of your page. And then from the end of this line, we'll extend a second line down towards the bottom right so that you have an upside down V shape at the bottom of the guava. Then coming back to the stem, we'll close off the right side with another curve coming all the way down to that bottom line. Come back up to the top of the stem, and on the right side I'm just going to create a thin line here, so just an edge following that same curve, and this is just sort of going to indicate where we've cut the guava so that the inside of the fruit is showing. I'm just going to place a little line here just to sort of close off the top of the guava, and then on the left I'm going to create a curve that is similar to the one that we already have, but I want it to come out a lot wider so that we see a little more of the outer peel of our guava. So we're going to create a nice curve that's coming all the way out to the left, and as we come down towards the bottom, I'm going to begin to straighten that line a little bit. You can come back to the top of your guava and we'll create a little stem by just drawing a small curved line. I'm going to draw mine just angling towards the right, and then I'll make a little circle or oval right here at the top, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a second line back down to the body of the guava. Next, I'm just going to make a really basic leaf coming out behind this stem, so draw a nice curved line up towards the top left corner, create a point here, and then we'll just make a mirrored curve all the way back down towards the stem. To indicate some veining in the leaf, I'm just going to draw a broken line from the top to the bottom and then just V out some smaller lines towards the side edges. So before we get on to our watercolor, we're just going to give our guava a cute little face. So I've chosen to do a little winking face here, and I'm going to draw a little sideways V so that the bottom of the V is towards the center. And then I'll create a little round circle here on the right for the open eye and just put in some highlights. So I'm going to start by just drawing a curve on the right and a little dot and a smaller one underneath it in the center. And I'm just going to color this in with my water resistant marker. So if you're coloring in your eye now, you want to make sure it's water resistant if you're going to do watercolor. And then just add in a little smile and maybe some eyebrows. Okay guys, so coming up is the watercolor portion, so make sure you have your paints and brushes. So to begin the watercolor, I'm just going to start by doing a simple wash of color in the center of the guava. So the space that is surrounding the face. And I'm just using different shades of pink, red, maybe even a little bit of orange and just a little bit of yellow, and you're just going to fill it in and not really worry too much about color placement. We're just going to kind of have fun with it when we come back with our second layer. When you filled in that center part, we're going to just come back around with a wash of green on the peel or that outside edge here of the guava. So I'm just going to fill it in. It's just a really basic green. And then I'm going to do some shadowing here, and I'm just using a little bit of a darker tone of green. And then don't forget that other little thin edge over on the right. I'll use the same sort of shades of green to fill in my leaf. And then once again, you can add in some little darker tones just to create some shadows. I concentrate my shadows sort of in those areas either that are on the ground or tucking in behind something. While this is drying, I'm just going to splatter in some droplets in the background, and I'm just using colors that I've already used in the painting itself. You can spread them out with a little bit of a wet brush, or you can just let them be what they are as you splatter the brush, or you can skip this step altogether. For the ground, I've chosen to just use a grayish blue here, or a dark blue, and I'm just brushing out a horizontal line, adding in a little bit of purple just right underneath my guava here. And once you have that baseline, you can just start to darken it up, let the color bleed into the wet paper. So when your guava is dry, you can come back in to do the second layer of watercolor. I've switched to my smaller brush, and I'm just pulling in some more intense shades of color. So pretty much all I've done is just taken a less watered down version of the same colors I used in the first layer. You can play with them a little bit, but a lot of times I just sort of like to look at what's already there from that first layer and just build upon that. So as you can see, I'm just doing really short, loose brush strokes, and if I have a really strong color, I'm just going to wet my brush and sort of let it blend out towards the center. So I'm just trying to create some variation here by really not like taking long sweeping brush strokes of color. Then we'll go ahead and we can do the same thing here on the peel, but I'm just trying to give a little bit of texture. So I've taken that nice bright green that I used in my first layer, and I'm just tapping it into the paper. So I'm not making any kind of strokes with the brush, it's literally just tapping the bristles. You can pull in some darker greens, and I've also added in a little bit of a yellow ochre color just to create some more depth in that skin. And when you guys are all done that left side of the peel, don't forget to go and just brighten up the little cut edge here on the right. You're going to want to add some more intensity to the leaf as well. So once again, I'm coming in with my shades of green, and then I'm just going to take a darker green and just sort of move right up the veins of the leaf. And I'm doing this while the paper's wet, so it's sort of bleeding out into the rest of the leaf. And feel free to bump up any of the layers that you want, add more shadows. You can play with it. I would say stick with the colors you've already used so that it doesn't get too muddy. And then when you're all satisfied with that, you can go ahead and add in some little rosy cheeks for your guava. So I'm just going to take a pink color, and I'm just going to tap it right in underneath the eyes. And you can leave them really dark, or you can wet your brush and just sort of blend it out into the rest of the body. And that is our super cute little guava, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to leave your requests in the comments below. So until next time, for another Draw with Sandee at the Little Artistic Nook, keep making art and keep smiling.